Hello, everyone. My name is Joao, and I'm here with Shaheen. Say hi, Shaheen.
Hey everybody.
So, welcome to another episode of I Build, Therefore I Am. Today, we're joined by Henrique. I'm going to talk to him in a bit. I just want to do this little call to action here. Stick around for Q&A because we will be rewarding the best question of each episode, a swag kit packed with Cartesi goodies. So, throw those questions. Now, another announcement we have is this is the last episode of this season. Okay. um so aren't we gonna have any more episodes of I Build Our 4am? Yes, we are. Actually, we will have a whole other sequence lined up. We have some amazing guests that will be featured very soon, and it will follow the regular schedule. So 2 weeks from now we already have our new saga, which is going to be a surprise. We already talked and teased it a little bit, but we're gonna get in depth with it after the episode. All right. So let's dive right in, talking about our guest, Henrique. Say hi, Henrique.
Hi.
Okay, that's the motivation and the excitement I need.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Now that's better. Enrique is a talented student at Inteli, a university in São Paulo, and an emerging Web3 builder who was introduced to Cartesi through hackathons and introduced Cartesi to many people through hackathons as well. He has a passion for blockchain technology, and this led him to spearhead initiatives within his university, inspiring peers to explore Cartesi, even among other universities as well. Lots of projects, lots of master classes, courses, tutorials, lots of things that Henrique did. He's the co-creator of Devolt, a project focused on changing the energy market by providing decentralized solutions for electric car charging. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
And he continued to work on Devolt, and it demonstrates his commitment to innovation and the promotion of clean energy through the blockchain technology. I think that's it for the intro. I think that's a good enough intro. I would like to highlight that Enrique is a very special guest here because he's also a Cartesi contributor, right? And as such, this is a kind of weird episode where we have contributors talking to each other like the Spider-Man thingy, like Enrique likes to point, so we can point to each other doing the Spider-Man thing. How I have to point this way and this way, I guess. Yes, it's mirrored display, so it's hard to do that. Okay. So, anyway, starting with the questions, Enrique, why don't you take this chance to tell us a little bit about Devolt? The Web3 space is always looking for realistic use cases, right? Reasons for us to actually use Web3 technology. And tell us about Devolt and how do you see Devolt fit in all of this?
Okay. Devolt is a project that aims to integrate what I see as one of the biggest blockchain use cases to date. DePIN, that is decentralized physical infrastructure networks, right? So this idea was born after a group of friends and I participate in the hackathon, right, in the last year. No, at the beginning of this year, where we noticed it, an opportunity in building a decentralized infrastructure for electric cars. And that's it. Complex cases like this is very, very difficult to fully implement it on chain. So if you are not using infrastructures like Cartesi, this could be very, very difficult. So this is why I'm here talking about Devolt in a podcast inside of the Cartesi ecosystem, because Cartesi, it's our infrastructure now.
Yeah, so you talk about Cartesi. Like Cartesi has definitely played an important role in Devolt. Like, could you tell us a little more in details how Cartesi helped you, or what components you used to build on Cartesi? That would give us a good picture of how Cartesi is helping in Devolt.
Yes, for sure. So implementing an auction system that deals with money in a big task and requires extensive testing, for example. This is very, very difficult when we are talking about the DeFi ecosystem and infrastructures today, because you need to do some fuzzing testing and stuff like this. So I, as we as a team and behind of Devolt, we are developing this all of this system with tests and testing the entire cases that could be happen when this is will be launched on mainnet, right? So this is one point when we are talking about the implementation, and also I believe that more complex logic and data throughput as required by DP applications um, are almost impossible to implement fully on chain without infrastructures like Cartesi, right? For example, Devolt backends is entirely built on Go using SQLite, GORM, Ephemeros, or object-oriented mapper that is in Go, and even some traditional web design patterns that are not viable to implement on chain. So this is a few features that I implemented on Devolt.
You mentioned the auction part, the auction
Yes.
feature inside Devolt, right? Can
Yes.
you mention a little bit more about other features that Devolt has, like what it does exactly to make it a little bit more clear? I know we're gonna have a
Yes.
demo later that will make everything more clear, but just to understand better what the application is all about.
What do you mean about the features that about the interfaces?
Yeah,
that
exactly.
Devolt.
Not the features in
Okay.
technical aspect, but
Okay.
the
Okay, I see. So the flow is the electric vehicles owners will purchase energy tokens, and and with each purchase, a demand will be added to a reverse auction, right? So what we have here is an auction that will be opened uh, every month and will last for 6 days, right? In this auction, the bid with the best ratio between energy tokens and price in USDC will be selected, right? And this way, the demand of stations for um, energy will be compensated, and the tokens will be used to pay the energy bills of each station, right? This is the entire flow that are implemented. So through this entire flow implementation, we have some interactions with all of Cartesi infrastructure interfaces, right? So we have inspect happen here. We have vouchers, notices, and reports.
it's awesome.
Okay, so from what I understand, like the core logic or the core component that you're trying to build here is uh, buying and selling of these energy credits in form of
Yes,
tokens,
right.
right? Okay. And this is where the auctioning logic, I'm supposing all of this is
Exactly.
inside Cartesi.
Exactly.
Cool. So this is the part of Cartesi. Are there any other components, any other protocols that are helping you to build this solution? I'm assuming like there would be I don't know, some IoT components or anything else, any other protocol that's helping you to build this whole framework.
This is our these are now in our roadmap, integrate with other modular solutions that has some infrastructure for connect the real devices. Now we have some kind of simulation of these devices, but yes, you are right. We have uh, our Cartesi backend built it with all of these libraries now and implementing the auction system.
Interesting.
This is awesome, man.
And these guys, you guys also get to use, like, I'm assuming you like to code in Go. So you're
Yeah,
using the tooling around Golang. So it's kind of helping you there, right?
yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's it.
Henrique is really a big fan of Go, right? So Cartesi unlocks a big, this big side of you. Okay, Go or Rust right now, very quick, very fast.
Okay, this is very difficult choice, man.
We
We know the answer.
know
Yeah,
that.
both. No. Go lang.
Go like. That's nice, man.
Okay.
I going like taking a step back from
Okay.
from the language itself. I know it plays a big part in choosing the stack, but why even going? I know I understand why you went for Cartesi once you went inside Web3, but why even going into Web3? Why even doing blockchain for Devolt? Like, what is the reasons why a blockchain is needed for a project like this?
Yeah, this is a very good question. I think in the case of the electric vehicle charging system in Brazil, and the energy market at all, it's the intermediaries that drives up the price and for end consumer, right? So uh, using blockchain for this by creating a system that, for example, implements a reverse auction as this the case with Devolt. It's great approach to partially replace intermediaries in the chain, right? So this can bring, for example, this can bring more efficiency to expand the fleet for electric vehicles in Brazil. So this is the point with the vote, and yeah, I think that's it for the vote.
That's nice, man. I do see many openings in terms of energy sector in Brazil specifically. For my background, I worked with that for a while, so I do see a lot of people thinking of ways to mix everything, right? But this brings opportunities.
Yes.
I know for a fact it brings opportunities. How do you see these opportunities? Like, where in the energy sector Web3 can have some synergy, or are there any notable projects that you see being applied there, or a market that in the energy sector besides what Devolts try to solve, and even where Devolt enters, how can it take a part
Yes,
and be a
yes,
part of this huge ecosystem that is the energy sector?
yes. I think about the projects at all. We have some projects in the ecosystem, in the blockchain ecosystem. Um, there are implementing systems for electric cars. For example, we have um, a project built on top of the Polkadot infrastructure called Charge, which is already up and running. And yeah, about the opportunities in the energy market, I think providing an infrastructure that covers much more larger range of regions and roads in Brazil for electric vehicles charging with a economics model, for example, that brings value for all parts involved. In our case, stations owners, car owners, and energy providers and other stakeholders. This can be very good for the chain, and this can be this will bring more value for the end user, right? This is like improve the experience and improve this ESG agenda in Brazil, right? This is the main goal here, and I see this case as a very good opportunity.
Yeah, talking about ESG, we had a big problem in the past, not only in Brazil but globally, I can say, where there was double counting in terms of
Yes,
carbon
exactly,
credits, right? And
exactly.
blockchain really helps with the transparency in that sector, and it's really a sure shot. It's so clear
Yes,
that it can
yes,
improve so much the whole process. Yeah.
I see, like as you mentioned, there are multiple stakeholders involved in this. I mean, we're not talking about an application which is like we're not talking about a game. We're not talking about a social application. This is like the real deal. You have people like station owners, the car owners. You have
the end
people,
users.
possibly the policymakers also involved in this kind of thing. So this makes it a very ambitious project. It's not a small project. How
Yeah,
do
that
you
is.
how do you comprehend this? Like, how do you create a roadmap or evolutionary roadmap for such a project?
Yeah, the idea with Devolt is create a concept project, right? If one day someone choose go to this market, we have here a concept project as a base for this case. And yeah, you are right. This is a very very difficult narrative to bring to reality.
When you have multiple points of contact,
Yes,
everything gets so
exactly.
hard to become a business,
Yes,
right?
yes, exactly.
I know you learned to strategize that in the university, and like how your classes are structured around developing and creating businesses as well, right? So
Yes,
this
yes,
is something you have to confront like daily.
yes, yes. In my college, I have my major in computer engineering, but I have some kind of minors in business, for example, that teach us about all of these points, right? And how difficult is bring ideas like this to reality. So this is a very good point.
Oh man, this definitely requires you more than a Golang developer.
Yes,
It
for
needs
sure.
more skills.
Yes.
Yeah, and
That's interesting.
uh, so tell us a little bit more about your journey, like going from being this student, going from being this kid that started searching computer science, computer engineering, and got into blockchain. How
Yeah.
how did this happen?
Yeah. I choose study computer engineering in my college, right? So engineering at all, this is a very very hard field to study because we have a lot of things to learn, right? We always have a lot of things to learn, and in this way, uh, about blockchain, more specifically, I remember that all everything starts with a podcast with Vitalik Buterin and Lex Friedman. And after this podcast and after the philosophy that Vitalik present to me in this podcast, I start my journey in blockchain development. I co-founded my university blockchain club, and I had the opportunity to participate in several competitions across Brazil, right? And I became a Cartesi contributor, right? So this is a little bit about my history in development. The most part of this history, it's in the Web3 ecosystem, right? So that's it.
So, timeline here.
Okay.
You joined
Okay.
university. You started studying.
Yes.
Then you started applying to competitions and hackathons and
Exactly.
developing your own projects. What projects were this? Which did you have? I know Lilian. But
Yeah, exactly. I will talk about Lilian. Lilian, it's a project that I've made it in the last year in some competitions, and in each competitions we developed it part of the all system. So, for example, in this project, we have an implementation of a computer vision model, right? Call it YOLO. Focused in the credit card, in the carbon credits market, and yeah, this is a little bit about the projects in the timeline of the competitions. And after this, I assumed the role of Cartesi contributor in the developer advocacy unit. So that's it.
That's nice, man. Inside this project, you mentioned YOLO. Is that like you only live once?
Yeah.
Like YOLO? Okay. Okay. Yeah. So your strategy was building the big solution part by part in different competitions. That's
Yes,
nice.
right.
That's very
And to learn, right? To learn. I'm a student. At this time, I'm just a student.
Well, you're making your way to becoming. You're more than a student right now. You're getting there, man. You're getting big,
Yeah.
and people who work with you know how hard you work and how good you are, and you're doing great, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But I think Shaheen has a bunch of questions to you,
Okay.
right?
Oh yeah. So now we are moving to this segment we call rapid fire.
Oh.
And if you know the rules, I'll ask you a question, and without any hesitations, without taking any time, you have to reply either in one word or one sentence max. And
Okay.
we'll try to keep it as short as possible, as quick as possible.
Okay.
So let me see how much time we take for this.
Okay.
So I have a bunch of questions. First question for you is, what do you think the biggest myth about blockchain is? Something that you have heard.
Okay.
Fast. Don't think
Okay.
too much.
That crypto is the end of everything. This is just the tip of the iceberg, right? That's it.
Okay. One thing every developer should do to improve their skills.
I think deep diving projects made by senior developers is actually a form of mentorship. I learned a lot from it already. So that's it.
So all the juniors of Henrique, this is for you.
Yeah.
Okay. What would be the best resource to learn blockchain development?
Okay. I think the introductory Cartesi course on Udemy, right? And
five, Shaheen.
and
The other side. There you go.
yeah, and a website called Crypto Zombies, I think. We teach you blockchain development in a gamified way. So that's it.
Okay, which is your most loved Web3 project or a product that is in Web3 right now?
Come on, bro. Cartesi, bro. I'm skin the game with that, bro.
All right, I'll take that. Okay, next question. What do you want to build next?
Okay. There's a lot of things that I would like to develop, but okay. Let me. So there's a protocol that was being developed by one team of the Ethereum Foundation, called TLSN. So maybe TLSN combine it with Cartesi stack, and because this could unlock some really innovative solutions. So that's it.
There was a post in Spotlight channel today about
Yes.
TLSN. Who could have been the author?
Everybody who's listening, go to Cartesi Discord and check out the post what Henrique is cooking next. So, last question.
Okay.
Is there any person in Web3 whom you'd like to give a shout out to? Somebody who inspired you? Anybody?
Yeah, for sure. Vitalik. Definitely Vitalik.
Come on, man. I expected you to
okay.
reply Shaheen.
Okay. The creator. So, because he's the creator of all of this movement, right? All of this ecosystem and all of this infrastructures is derived from Ethereum. So this is my choice of person.
Satoshi, if you're listening to this, you lose, man. It's Vitalik.
Yeah.
I really like the theory that Satoshi was my favorite theory from Satoshi is that he's a
group
guy
of
that passed
persons.
away, but he was like this absolute killer of a security engineer that lives next to a guy who was a janitor called Satoshi Nakamoto. So he's like, okay, I need an alias. And he looks at the side, he sees his neighbor, and he puts it there.
Yes.
Cool. That's it for the rapid fire round. Can we move to the next segment?
Yeah, next segment is the demo, man.
Okay, the
you
demo.
Can show us a little bit about.
Let me try to present my screen. So, share screen. Yes. Let me know when
it's on. It's being shared.
Okay, so that's it. We have here our landing page, right? Our landing page have some presentation about our project, and you can contact us also to talk about partnerships and stuff like this. And going to our demo. So we have here, for example, our dashboard, right? And in this dashboard, we have the user story of the end user that is the owner of the vehicle. So I can buy energy. I can simulate buy energy with this. And so in theory, I will use a stablecoin to buy my energy. I can select this how much tokens of energy. In this case, it's called Volt. Um, I will spend to charge my car now, and that's it. We have some problems with the node right now, and but we have this user story right here now. So that's it. Explaining more about uh, the the system. Yeah. So what we have here is the part of the system that creates the demand that will be that will be used in the auction to buy energy from the energy sellers. So and this is the case of application that don't has the implementation in the front end of all features in the back end. So also talking a little bit about our roadmap, the front end application, and the implementation of all of the features that that the backend has um, is on our roadmap right now. This is a project ongoing. So that's it.
So a user goes to this page, he
Yes.
adds how much energy he wants to buy,
Yeah.
and then
You
there's a
can
whole
see,
reverse.
yeah. In this map, you can see the stations nearest from you. And you can choose, for example, your model of car and see the capacity, see the battery, and choose how much battery you are aiming to charge, right?
And then these stations are the entities themselves that participate in the reverse auction.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Got it.
Wow, this is like a nice network of different stakeholders. Like
This is a beautiful front end, by the way.
yeah, man,
But we have some,
I'm just
yeah, we have some issues here with the node. I need to look and resolve this, but this is a little bit about the entire flow.
That's awesome.
Are there any trust assumptions or any security concerns that users should worry about or users should know prior?
Yes, yes. When we are talking about the integration between IoT and blockchain, in the most part of in the most part of applications, we need some kind of man in the middle to send the transaction like a streamer. Send the transaction with the payload from the IoT, right? So this is maybe one of these assumptions that the users um, will accept, maybe.
Yeah, I think the decentralized physical infrastructure, when it gets more mature, that might be a good plug to these kind of applications, and then you would have a more trust
Yes, exactly.
minimized way of
So we
accessing
are
data.
looking for modular solutions that has this feature in the roadmap that connects directly um, the IoT and the blockchain. So if you have some recommendations,
Oh,
let me know.
from the top of my mind, no, but we can.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, even I don't have because this is one of those projects that goes beyond what we like to do regularly. This is a
Yes.
very unique kind of application which requires probably solutions that are not there yet, that are still in their nascent stage, right?
Yes.
So, where can people reach out to you if somebody else has any solutions who are listening? Where can they give feedback, test things out?
Okay. We have a Twitter, right? Our Twitter is maybe X, no more Twitter, right? So our Twitter is the Devolt, and you can reach out us in this account, and also you can access devolt.xyz and send us email to talk about partnerships and stuff like this.
So let me just paste it here so we can put it on the screen for everyone to see the link for Devolt.
Exactly.
And yeah. Okay, so I think now we can move to the community questions, right?
Okay.
Let's see what people have prepared for you. So, first question from our very good friend Nonso is this one. Are there any plans to simplify the UX on Devolt to help onboard more Web2 users? And how do you plan to implement that?
Yes, we have this in our roadmap. Maybe integrate TLS and with Devolt to bring, for example, real world payments like in Brazil Pix to blockchain and enable users of Devolt to pay for the energy with the standard way that I use it now in Brazil. So this is our roadmap about the user experience.
Something about account abstraction,
Yes,
social
yes,
login, gasless transactions.
yes. We are looking for some infrastructures now, but yes, account abstraction is definitely one important thing when we are talking about the user experience in Web3. So that's it.
Okay. Next question then. Is there a governance system or DAO-like system in place to checkmate fraudulent activities on Devote?
Not yet, but this is on our roadmap.
That's awesome. I have a few more. Okay. So here goes. How does Devolt handle energy quality, supply and demand fluctuations in the market, specifically on the part of the energy sellers? Is that dealt with? Is there any plan to add that? How
Yeah,
this takes part?
this is a very good question. Actually, in Brazil, we have some perspective of regulation around the free energy market. So the stakeholders and the actors around this market, um, it's gonna be compliant with some rules that will be made that in this regulation. So this is our assumption of energy quality, the govern.
Next and last, I think, is after purchasing energy tokens on Devolt, how do users exchange these tokens for real electricity units with the merchants? Are they offered tickets to identify these users and the units of tokens they've purchased?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The, the the end of the flow is I will burn my tokens and pay my energy bill. So this is the flow of pay with vote token that represent energy, right?
Yeah. I this energy system, I think it differs from country to country, right? So there's a lot of implementation relative to the local area, how it goes. Like in Brazil, for example, any energy produced goes directly to the grid, and then you take away from the grid. So you can't clearly map exactly what is the energy source that is providing energy physically to that house directly,
Yes.
right? The
Yes.
circuit going straight. What you can do is this kind of thing that Devolt does, where you end generating a power purchase agreement, where you say that this energy was added to the grid because of this client. So at the end of the day, you're justifying the generation for another person through
Yes.
what you provide. It's a very complex it's a very complex thing to deal with, and I know every other country has many of their complications as well. I know US, the renewables are a crazy market there also, West Coast mainly. So I think whenever you strike other places specifically, you have to strategize a lot regarding that.
Yes, exactly. And this is an open challenge, right? Um, Smart grids and the energy infrastructure, it's a very complicated to implement.
Yeah, definitely is. Definitely is. Enrique, there is anything else you want to talk about here in the podcast? Some subject you would like to bring, something you would like to discuss, something?
Oh, okay. I would like to thank the rest of the voting, right? Because this is more than me now. And we have Emanuele, we have Paulo, we have Marcelo, and we have Mateus that are part of the team. Now there's another version of the Devolt system in Solana infrastructure that has been tested, and we are looking for more modular solutions, right? And that's it. The modular narrative is very, very important now in the blockchain ecosystem. And maybe this is the point of Devolt. We have our execution layer with the auction system, but we need a deeping layer, for example, to communicate the real device to the blockchain. We need another layer to implement account abstraction, maybe, and that's it. That's the modular narrative.
I love that you bring up modular narrative. What do you think of modular narrative, Shaheen? Tell me. Give me the juice.
Oh man, yeah. This is. I think we are starting a new podcast with this question because yeah, it goes beyond that. I think the whole solution, the decentralized narrative. It started with very monolithic solutions, Bitcoin, and the programmability with Ethereum. But we very soon realized that this won't help in bringing other use cases. Like it makes sense to have DeFi use cases when dealing with monolithic chains and monolithic narrative. But if you want to bring other solutions like Devolt itself, like any green solutions, then you definitely need all these different components. Simply blockchain cannot help you with this whole infrastructure. So it has its own scope, which is very huge. And I think there are different protocols, different projects, Cartesi including one, which are gonna play an important role down the line.
So what you're telling me, it's even more than a whole other podcast that we could start. It's a whole series that we could start talking about modularity.
That's right, my friend.
How could we call it, Shane?
Shall we give it a name of Modular Saga?
I like the idea of modular saga. What do you think about that, Enrique?
I like it.
Okay, guys. So this was Enrique with you. Thank you so much for coming, Enrique.
Thank you for having me.
It's very nice. We talked about so much here. Your journey as a developer, Devolt. We got a sneak peek on Lilium as well, the energy sector in Brazil and other places, how these things can be implemented, right? I would really love to get the community to talk to us what projects and protocols even they want to see us talking with us here, because we're doing that. We're going full modular, and even in our podcast. So we will be talking with other protocols as well. We have a line of some amazing guests waiting for you guys. I really hope you get as excited to see them talk as we are about talking to them. And yeah, remember to check our programs, check our Discord, keep thinking of solutions, because soon enough there will be coming another wave of grants for you guys. And yeah, join our Twitter, follow us up. This is going to be awesome. So this was I Build, Therefore I Am. Keep building and pioneering the world of Web3. It's always good to talk to everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.